How we doing today, guys? My name is Chris. I'm with Chris Allen VGC, Wandering Legends podcast, as well as the owner of the Gauntlet. I know I've had a lot of requests for a doubles team build. I personally love building with other people. I build enough by myself as it is, and it's always fun to kind of get another person's ideas in here. Helps freshen you up, and next thing you know, you're able to build something, a little bit more inspired, so to say. So today I have with me Peter. Peter has his own Twitch channel. Be sure to check that out. I'm going to leave the link in the description as well as a link to his Facebook group, Pokemon Battle Kingdom. They have a gym league. They do draft leagues. They have title belt matches where you can fight up the ladder, ranging from all kinds of Smoggin formats. And I believe he has a VGC one now too, correct?
Yeah.
All right. So be sure to give those all a look. I'm going to have all the links in the description. This will also be on all the Facebook videos that I post in as well, or Facebook groups I post in. All right, go ahead and say hi, Peter.
How we doing, everybody? Thanks for having me on, Chris. Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, guys, we have a whole bunch of battling going on right now in the Battle Kingdom, singles and doubles draft league. We have all sorts of prize tournaments. Right now we have a regional Rumble tournament going on. That's a $50 eShop prize. We have a doubles Ubers tournament that has a Duraludon plushie in there as a prize. All sorts of battling, man. So come on by.
All right. Definitely check that out, guys. So the way this worked, I gave Peter 2 Pokemon to build around a few days ago. Those were, as you can see, Kartana and Nihelego. Nihelego is typically going to be known for 90% of the time I see it, it's going to have the Power Herb, turn 1, go ahead, max it, get a kill. Now you're going to be at +2 at the end of turn 1. And Kartana is your typical Leaf Blade. Kartana I picked because it's a really good counter to Feeny right now. Most of the time, Leaf Blade will kill Feeny one shot. And that's a very common mon I'm seeing a lot of is my playthroughs. And Nihelego, I just haven't done anything with it. And so I was like, hey, man, let's see what you got. So those are the 2 he's built around. So from here on out, he's just going to go ahead and start explaining the team, explain the moves, the items, all that good stuff. And I'll be asking some questions along the way that I'm sure you guys will have to kind of help y'all understand how, we team build in competitive Pokemon.
Yeah, so the way I go about building teams in competitive, and this is true for any format. I play VGC, OU. I like Monotype a lot. I like to get the 6 Pokemon first. And the reason being is, like you were just saying, we could go, okay, Nihelego, we like the Power Herb, we like Timid, and, we kind of go along one at a time. Or Kartana, we like the Assault Vest, we like Leaf Blade, and we kind of go along one at a time. And we spend all this time adding a Pokemon and building it, and then all of a sudden we realize, like, oh shit, we're just getting destroyed by, Tyranitar here. And when you have to go in and change a Pokemon, it can go back and kind of change all your sets. If I put Assault Vest Kartana and all of a sudden I need to add something and I want an Assault Vest, it's just back and forth. So I really like to take my time and get 6 Pokemon that complement each other typing wise before I get into any moves or any EVs or any items. So like Chris said, he gave me the Nihelego and the Kartana. Kartana is one of the Pokemon I used tons last year in VGC. I absolutely love it. Nihelego is honestly probably my favorite Ultra Beast. If I had to pick one, love it in draft leagues, love the Scarf set in singles. I like it in VGC. It could do a whole lot. So I was pretty excited when he gave me these 2 Pokemon. So my first thought is I always kind of take into effect usage. If you're playing at a high ladder, or really any point, you can kind of go to Picklytics and see the usage of what's going on in VGC. So Chris talked about Tapu Fini's at the top of the list. We have Kartana, right? So I'm thinking, what else am I seeing all the time? And it's definitely Metagross. Metagross is the #1 most maxed Pokemon in VGC right now, and Metagross is a problem for these 2 Pokemon. So that was my first thought. So I went ahead and Rotom Heat popped right into my mind. We have the 4 times ground weakness on Nihelego, and we really just have no way of killing Metagross. So Rotom Heat seemed perfect. So Rotom Heat was the first Pokemon I added to this team here with Nihelego and Kartana. So that kind of works with compensating for that ground weakness, having Levitate being immune to ground. So I can come out and lead Nihelego, and you can lead Landorus, and I have an instant go-to, an instant switch that's immune to ground. So to follow up on that, we have Rotom's weaknesses. Water, rock. So Tapu Fini, obviously so bulky, so good right now in VGC. I went ahead and had Tapu Fini. So I'm sitting there looking at Nihelego, Kartana, Rotom, Heat, Tapu Fini. There's clearly no kind of weakness policy or any gimmicks here. I personally don't like building that way. VGC has long been built on best of threes. And for my money, the weakness policy and all the kind of gimmicky setups are great on ladder, good on showdown for that one battle. But I always build a best of threes in mind. So I'm not the biggest fan of gimmicks or weakness policies. So obviously, you know what these 4 Pokemon are looking at. None of that's going to exist. So I'm looking to support these 4 Pokemon. We have a little bit of speed control that we can have with Trick Room on our Nihelego. We obviously have good bulk here. Defensive typing wise, Tapu Fini is amazing. Rotom is great. Kartana has a glaring fire weakness. We have Rotom and Fini. Nihelego has that glaring ground weakness. We have Fini and Rotom. So we have this really nice core with typing defensively. So I want to emphasize that, and I really wanted to use screens to kind of emphasize that. And I think Fake Tears is also amazing right now, especially paired with Nihelego. So I went ahead and added Grimmsnarl to the team. This is going to provide us with screens, like I said, to kind of further this natural bulk that we have going on. And Fake Tears is also going to open up a lot of opportunities with how we are going to allocate our items, EVs, and attacks for Nihelego. Rounding out the back, I wanted definitely something with priority, definitely something strong. So I went and plugged your Shifu Dark in. This is going to be a really niche role. I'd say I'm about 25, 30 battles in with this team with a very high win rate, both on ranked doubles ladder on the Switch and on Showdown VGC ladder. Team's playing really well. This Shifu, I'm not using a ton, definitely using it the least, but when it does come, it certainly is strong, and it's certainly something that has to be respected. I'm sorry. So that's the 6 Pokemon. I have this down, and now I like to go ahead and get my items done, and then moves, and then kind of do some calcs and EVs last. What do you think about this 6, Chris?
I like it. I like you touched on the core. You got the central 4 there that are going to kind of cover each other. Grimmsnarl, amazing support mon. I mean, I personally think Grimmsnarl and Whimsicott have a role on almost any team you ever build. Anything with access to screens, Fake Tears, or Charm, always great. Fake out pressure. Those are things that you always want to consider. You always want something of that nature on your team, especially when you talk best of 3 setups, because you're only using 4 of these. So they're not seeing 2 of your mons. So that allows you to kind of hide some of the builds of your core, for game 2, to kind of allow you to come in and still have a little bit of tricks to show. And just to touch real quick on the weakness policy, I'm kind of on the fence. I think a weakness policy should never be on your main core in VGC if you're looking for best of 3 success long term, especially against good players. Now, when you get out to the 5th and 6th members, that would be the optimal place for a weakness policy in my mind, at least for my building, because they're functioning outside of those main 4. So after game 1, I want to switch it up, kind of mess with the opponent. Now it's something I can throw and he's not going to expect, right? But never put it on your main 4 that you want to kind of work around or want to use the most, because it is a gimmick, and once it's known, it's known. And now your opponent just plays around it, and you give a lot of momentum for free.
Sure, and that's definitely a good point. And I'm not saying weakness policy is bad. I mean, first of all, most people listening, ladder's your thing, right? You're trying to climb the ladder and all that. That's where the gimmick stuff is great. In the best of 1, somebody leads wrong, and you're setting off a policy Tyranitar, or like a weakness policy, Galarian Moltres. I mean, you're probably just going to win the game outright. So for sure, I'm not saying that it's bad. Just my mindset is I always want 6 Pokemon where I can bring 4. I can max a ton of them. I can not max a ton of them. I like flexibility. This is VGC. There's 2 Pokemon attacking. It's real easy for your plan to get all sorts of screwed up. And, I like to have a backup plan, a backup plan, and then, break the glass in a case of emergency plan. So, and also, I mean, I think if you just look in general, if you go look at like, Victory Road or recent cups and, champions, very rarely will you see any kind of team where two Pokemon are required to make something happen. The higher the level you go, the less and less you'll see of it. No matter what, weakness policies letting you put and some kind of not optimal move, whether it's, you're talking brutal swing tornadus or bulldoze dusclops, you're always going to be having a move that's not optimal on your Pokemon to make that work. So in my mind, again, best of 3 series, that's not something where, you have basically 6 Pokemon, you have 24 attacks to get something done, and I don't like investing one there. So anyway, moving on. So I have 6 Pokemon here, so I like to get to items. Like Chris said, going in, Power Herb is the go-to way to run Nihelego, and deservedly so. Power Herb, Meteor Beam. Before you know it, you're like at +2 special attack. You're absolutely nuking somebody. It is a good set. It is definitely powerful. I went a different route for this team for a few reasons. Like I was talking about with flexibility, I feel the Power Herb Meteor Beam set is forcing me to Dynamax. I'm not going to run Power Gem. I'm not going to have 2 rock moves. So we kind of use that Meteor Beam and we're out of our stab rock move. So it's kind of forcing me to Dynamax. And the other 2 big reasons is I definitely want to have Trick Room here. You don't see Tailwind right now. You don't see Taunt, yet as we're looking at this team. Like it's pretty good chance it's not going to happen. So our speed control is a little bit iffy here. So I definitely want to be able to use Trick Room on Nihelego, which is going to require some bulk. To kind of go into that, to the last reason we have Grimmsnarl, we have Fake Tears. Your Power Herb set that's 252 and Timid is extremely powerful. Okay, this bulky Nihelego we can build with the Fake Tears is just as powerful and more dangerous because it has longevity, with some bulk and EVs, with screens from Grimmsnarl. So with that being said, I was looking at what item to run here, and I was kind of torn between a Life Orb or an Expert Belt or a Citrus Berry, and I went ahead and put Life Orb on. Don't get me wrong, this is still an offensive Pokemon. This is still our main damage dealer. I still Dynamax this Pokemon more than anybody, but I don't want to be forced into it. And Life Orb kind of lets me come out and punch holes, small, use Trick Room, or it gives me a lot of flexibility, which is a word you'll hear me saying a lot. So next one on to Kartana. To me, if you're considering Kartana as one of your main offensive weapons and Dynamaxing it, I think Assault Vest is like the way to go. Any other item I don't think is great. Life Orb is, if you have a 181 base attack, you don't need Life Orb. You're trying to Dynamax, so hopefully you're not relying on a Focus Sash. So definitely Assault Vest there. Tapu Fini, again, this mon's going to be all about bulk and our defensive typing and covering like Kartana's fire weaknesses, covering ground weaknesses, covering rock weaknesses. So we're definitely going with a berry, the Wiki Berry on it. Rotom is a tricky one. I love Citrus Berry Rotom. I think it's a great set, especially if you're going to have a nice EV spread like I plan on doing here with some bulk. Absolutely love Citrus Berry Rotom, but I go with Safety Goggles. It's just safe, man. You get that occasional Moongus. You always have sand and hail stuff going on. It's just safe, and like Rotom doesn't need anything with a nice spread. Now, if you're 252, sure, a barrier or sash is something to consider, but I'm looking at a nice spread here. Grimmsnarl's Light Clay, no doubt. Screens is a huge part of this team. Grimmsnarl is very much the rock of this team. And your Shifu, this one's kind of easy. I like the Scarf a lot. The reason you usually give your Shifu a Scarf or Dark Glasses is because your Sash is on something else. We're not using a Sash, so definitely went ahead with Focus Sash on your Shifu.
Yeah, and looking at the items, one other benefit with the Life Orb set from my experience, because we both have had time to play with the team prior to recording, I've gotten a lot of free momentum just on turn 1 leading Grimmsnarl and Nihelego, because someone throws a fake out in the Nihelego, and if I can predict that fake out, I don't need the Meteor Beam and use my power of turn 1. I can go ahead and max and put off immediate pressure. You waste a fake out, and now whatever your biggest threat is to me, I can Fake Tears and kill. So it gives you a little bit of leverage going into that turn 1 as a lead, because like I said, most of the time when I see it, I'm going to assume that's a set.
Right.
So now you have a little bit of leeway to kind of play with the opponent, especially in a best of three. That one mistake in game one, that gives you a huge advantage. Like you said, the assault vest on the Cartana, it gives you a little bit more bulk. You got to be able to live something. If you can't live a hit, especially Heat Wave's on everything nowadays. I mean, Zapdos running Heat Wave, Moltres with Heat Wave, Charizard's with Heat Wave. So that's a very common move. So adding that extra special bulk just to kind of help you not, die in one shot gives you the pressure to live and stay on. The berry on, it's already such a Pokemon. That extra health really hurts the opponent. Safety goggles. I like this. I've actually seen a few Amoonguss teams come back here lately, just with all the offensive pressure, kind of as a way to come out and kind of slow the game down. So this is a very nice thing to switch in on Amoonguss, and as well as with this ability for levitate switch-ins. Grimmsnarl, almost always Prankster Light Clay, and then the sash on Urshifu, because you want to be able to live 2 hits.
For sure. For sure. I think if you've been battling VGC at all, you've had a Wiki Berry pop on Tapu Fini and absolutely make you cry many times. I know it's happened to me. There's so many times like it's dead and it gets to 10 HP and then goes back up. It's like, oh my, it's crushing, man. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
So
that and Sonora, the 2 things I hate when that berry activates.
Yeah. And it's funny because like you have so much, at least for me, like Sonora's just been at the top like of VGC last gen and this gen. That I feel really comfortable without running calcs, like how much damage I'm doing to it all the time. It's like with Cinderella, I almost like go out of my way to be like, well, let me not do that move. Like sometimes I'll even pick a move doing less damage to avoid that berry and to get the kill. With Fini, I never know. Like I'm always like, okay, it's dead and it doesn't die and it gets the berry. Like it's happened so many times to me. So going into our attacks here, obviously we just been talking about Trick Room on Nihelego and not running Meteor Beam. So I definitely started with Power Gem and Trick Room for sure. Again, all about flexibility. We come out turn 1 and we see what's common, like Tornadus, Metagross, something like that. We have options. We have Rotom to come on ground move. We have Trick Room when we think we're going to get Tailwinded. These 2 moves alone with the Life Orb is already giving us like plenty of options. You definitely need the Sludge Bomb. That's our other big stab move. The last move, even on like 30 games in with this team, I still debate it. Like I had Dazzling Gleam on. I almost never click it. I think Protect is really nice here. I think you can get away with just Rock and Poison. But for now, I am running Dazzling Gleam. It's kind of like when in doubt, it's good to just get a little spread, break some sashes, and let Cartana, Fini, Rotom, and the gang come in to clean up. Going to Cartana, obviously an Assault Vest set, so we need 4 attacks, 2 stabs, Smart Strike, and Leaf Blade. So God forbid they ever give us Iron Head, but Leaf Blade and Smart Strike. Sacred Sword is an absolute must. And then again, we're hitting for speed control, so I have Aerial Ace on just to get some max airstreams. Grimmsnarl, screens for sure. So Reflect, Light Screen, Fake Tears. Those are the 3 moves we're using. That's kind of the engine of this team is those 3 moves. For the attack, I think you have a choice between Sucker Punch or Spirit Break here. I went ahead and put Spirit Break. I think you could really go either way with it, but between A, having your Shifu, B, Sucker Punch being able to fail, and C, just fairy coverage being really good, I went ahead and put Spirit Break. Rotom Heat is going to be an offensive set. Overheat, Thunderbolt, Master Plot, Protect, no doubt about it. There are different ways and different sets you can run on Rotom. For the most part, I think you should always have these 4 moves. Nasty Plot, the threat of Nasty Plot alone puts so much pressure on. Before I built this team, the team I was running had Rotom Heat on it, and if there's fake out access from my opponent, it's almost always going into Rotom. Like the Nasty Plot just prevents such a huge threat. It's a great set. Jumping back to Tapu Fini here. The normal set you're seeing in the meta right now, Calm Mind, Moonblast, Muddy Water, Protect. The reason you're seeing this set everywhere, this is really good. Dazzling Gleam is good, but when you have Terrain Boost and Moonblast, like this is a nuke. So you have to remember how doubles works, where it's 25% less damage. So Dazzling Gleam is less base power than Moonblast. Then you take out 25% for it being a spread move, and you're talking significantly less damage than this Moonblast is. You're not really worried as much about having a single target water move. A, Hydro Pump misses. B, you don't have terrain to boost it. So there's lots of reasons to put your single big attack into Moonblast and your spread move into water as opposed to Scald, Hydro Pump, and Dazzling Gleam. Your Shifu, only one way to run it in my mind. Wicked Blow, Close Combat, Sucker Punch, Protect. I see some sneaky poison jabs out there. If you're running a Choice Scarf or Choice Band, which are good sets, by all means do it. If you're able to get a sash on it and have Protect with 3 attacks, this is definitely how you want to do it. So I have 6 Pokemon. We have the moves, the attacks that we want to have on each one. This is where the team's really coming into shape. You can see we have the screens, we have the fake tiers with Nihelego and Rotom, Feeney. So you see the value from Grimmsnarl already. I talked about the defensive typing, the coverage, the natural bulk that some of these Pokemon have, like Nihelego, special defense, Rotom Heat's typing, Tapu Fini's stats and typing. All that gets severely bolstered by light clay screens, and 7 turns. 11 turns is the battle. You could play 50 VGC battles. You might have 2 where the battle's completely undecided by like turn 10. By that point, either it's over or it's in a real clear direction. So, I mean, light clay is basically the whole battle. So we get these screens up as soon as we can. So complementing on that, I definitely want to invest EVs all over the place here in bulk. I'm not looking for a max attack Kartana. I'm not looking for a max speed Nihelego. I'm definitely planning on using my EVs here with bulk. And this is where damage calc comes in, paired with Picolytics, like paired with usage. Like what is being used? What am I looking to be faster than and survive? If I can give anybody one tip when team building, and this is in my heart 100% true in VGC, true in OU and singles too, but there is more leeway there when it's only one Pokemon. There's less variables. You always want to EV and calc for speed and defense. When you try and calc for offense and say, oh man, this Tapu Fini is so annoying, let me make sure I have enough special attack to kill it. So many things come into play where that just goes away. It just doesn't exist. There's so many factors there. But speed and defense, being able to live certain amount of hits, being able to be faster than something is much more predictable. So that's how I personally EV and always do damage calc. We talked about Metagross off the jump. He is the number 1 most Dynamax Pokemon in VGC right now. Obviously a huge problem. So with that being said, the first calc that jumped into mind is I need Rotom to outspeed Adamant Metagross. So 158 speed EVs and a plus speed nature like Timid is going to outspeed a 252 Adamant Metagross. Nobody's using Jolly Metagross. It just doesn't exist for a Pokemon with a 70 speed in that gross speed tier. So 158 speed we're hitting with 164 EVs, which will hit us at 158. So while we're on Rotom, another one of the big, I'd say top 3 Dynamax Pokemon you're seeing is Moltres. Really scary Pokemon. We have things like Tyranitar, really scary Pokemon. So I wanted to make sure that, again, because there's no dedicated Dynamax Pokemon here, right? So we're looking to stay small with this team and not max and just deal as much damage as we can. And we kind of always want to Dynamax late game. There are plenty of situations where you can come out, click fake tiers and max Rockfall turn 1 and run away with the battle. But for the most part, with this team, we're setting screens, we're dealing lots of damage while we're staying small, stalling out our opponent's Dynamax and coming in late. So very few calcs would I ever run with Dynamax in play here. So I'm looking at Fiery Wrath and Moltres. I'm looking at Rock Slides from Tyranitar, 116. Sorry, I'm looking at the wrong Pokemon. Well, I just lost my Rotom spread. I know it's supposed to live. You have the numbers, Chris?
Yes, I do. Or my phone, 1 second.
I don't know how I just lost that, guys. I apologize. But I know I calced here I wanted to be able to live boosted fiery rafts from Moltres because I see that all the time. I want to be able to live rock slides from Tyranitar because we do have that rock weakness. We already talked about the speed. So those are the three things that I specifically calc for with this Rotom. I will say shout out to Joey UX9, big streamer on Twitch, big Discord, professional VGC player, professional coach. Can learn a ton from him if you look up his content. The bulk that Chris is about to plug in with our HP defense and SPDF is his spread. The speed I adjusted because I adjusted the special attack and speed here because I wanted to make sure I was faster than Metagross. But the bulk part of these EVs are his. I've used this Rotom all the time before DLC, post DLC. The spread lifts so much stuff. This Rotom runs really bulky. You're taking the rock slides, you're taking the muddy waters. The few super effective things that can hit you, you're living. It's a really great bulk spread. You see the 244 EVs and HP, and a little bit of defense and SPDF. So moving on, we'll go to Nihelego now. Landorus is the biggest threat, I say, to Nihelego. At least the biggest common threat you're going to see. It gets led all the time. We do want to be able to deal with that. We always have our Rotom switching. When in doubt, you can go to Rotom. However, judging by your opponent's team, I think it's not easy, but you can usually make a pretty good read on what kind of Landorus you're looking at. If it's on a team with a ton of bulk and like Grimmsnarls and Feenies and stuff, you could assume it's offensive. It can a Dynamax. You don't have to worry about Scarf. If it's a big hyper offensive team, it could be Scarfed. So I wanted to make sure I was faster than Jolly Lando with Nihelego. This is a very important calc, I think. That's going to be 164 speed EVs with a plus speed nature and timid. This gets us over 252 Jolly. Landorus here.
And a quick note, just a reminder, whenever you're doing your calcs, guys, always set your level to 50 for the most accurate results. If you naturally, it's going to pop up as level 100. And if you don't fix that, it'll mess up your adjustments. And then you'll be like, oh, well, this shouldn't happen. That's why.
I'm actually noticing on your calc here, I might have, what am I seeing? Because Nihilego's at 158 and Lando's at 168. Am I seeing this right?
Yep.
Okay, so we are going to want to fix this here because we do want to outspeed that Lando. The other thing I have calced is defensive stuff like wicked blows from your Shifu. So I'm going to jump down the special attack a little bit to make sure that we can get faster than Lando. So it looks like, are we at the max speed?
So 244.
244, that's 166, correct? 169?
Yeah, that puts us at 169, right over 168.
Okay, so we're going to outspeed the Jolly Lando here. Again, when in doubt, if you're playing the team and Lando leads, switch to Rotom. It's going to be safe. You have Grimmsnarl, you click Reflect, you send in Rotom, and like that's it. Like Landorus's damage output is totally negated between the Reflect and Rotom coming in. It's just not going to hurt you. Totally safe. However, as you see a little later on, when you can make a read that it's not Scarfed, you are more than welcome to just outspeed it, fake tears, and try and drop a bomb on it. The other calc I had running, because obviously with the strong SPDF and screens, is I was worried about our physical defense. It's a real low number with Nihelego, and that would be a wicked blow from your Shifu. It's something you see all the time, and if it just totally knocks us out, it's just a big problem. So if we go and plug in your Shifu with a 252 attack and adamant, I believe 100 HP EVs and 116 in defense is going to give us the result we're looking for. Gotta get to level 50.
Oh, no.
So you see, we're surviving it. We can't come out and just get Oko to a wicked blow. That just throw a whole wrench in our plan, and then we're just dumping the rest here into special attack. Again, paired with fake tears and our 127 base attack. Like 127 as a base is crazy high. Like this is a huge number. That is extremely dangerous, and you get one beast boost and you're flying, and we have fake tears to get us to that beast boost. So again, like I was talking about at the beginning, is going to be a bulky spread, which is exactly what it is, and but still tons of offensive potential here paired with Grim Snarl and beast boost.
Yeah, and like you said, you're guaranteeing your outspeeding of a Lando. Don't risk it too much, but you still have it there for when you do have to come back in after a switch in. You at least know you'll outspeed, and you don't have to do. And I think this is the biggest issue I see with newer players, and especially in a competitive scene. It's very much 252 this, two max the two best stats, and let's go. No, right? Because he already has. I mean, base 127 special attack. You don't got to throw a lot in there to do it, especially because he's going to Beast Boost is going to boost it further. We have the Life Orb that's increasing our damage by another 1.3 times 1.3. So don't always just max your attack and speed just to be as fast as you can, hit as hard as you can, because you're going to be frail, and those sucker punches or those sash mons or those choice scarf revenge killers are going to hurt you. So that's kind of why you build defensively like this, to guarantee the damage you want to do.
Exactly, and that's like a great point. And like you guys also have to remember, like, Chris, if you go back and pull up the damage calc here, and we just go to Tapu Fini Combine set VGC 18, and we go to our custom Nihelego spread we have open right now. So this is like a very common matchup that you're going to have with this team. Players see that Tapu Fini is super effective with water. It runs incredibly bulky, so it's not something they're going to hide away from too much. So if we go here and we go to our special attack and the damage calc, and we're just going to go to +2, which is the same thing as putting Tapu Fini at -2 with the fake tears. And we look at the sludge bomb damage output. So you guys need to realize whether that says 86 to 100 or 190 to 220, we're killing the Pokemon. And this is kind of just what Chris is saying. Like Kartana has 181 base attack. We have 127 base special attack. We have fake tears. You don't get extra points for killing a Pokemon by 200%. You just don't. EVs are really important, and it's really important to allocate them right when you're team building. And this team with the screens and the bulk is why we're going to invest in bulk all over the place. Speaking of that, we're going to come over to Kartana. This is a set that I have used when DLC dropped, that I actually built with a friend. It's extremely bulky. I think the investment we're going to make here might surprise you, but this set is amazing. Also, remember that these Pokemon have Beast Boost. +1 attack effectively makes our base 181 just insane. So that's why we're not going to invest a ton in attack here. So we have the Assault Vest already. The Spadef is the problem here. Kartana actually has a really strong base defense, just like Nihelego has a really strong base Spadef. Again, back to the defensive typing and the synergy we have going on here. So we're going to pair with that Assault Vest a ton of Spadef on this Kartana. Why? Because we have access to Light Screen. Chris was talking earlier about all those Pokemon that have Heat Wave. Between the Light Screen, Assault Vest, a ton of Spadef, we can survive some Heat Waves here. We can survive, Regieleki is so common right now. Specs Lecky, if we don't put the Assault Vest on some Spadef here, like Regieleki could just destroy us turn 1. So I want to make sure that Regieleki wasn't going to 2-hit KO me, do anything more. So we're going to start out with a ton of Spadef here with 196 special defense EVs and a plus Spadef nature and careful. This is letting us take the Heat Wave from the extremely common Tornadus lead. This is letting us take a couple Volt Switches from Regieleki. This is letting us take Weakness Policy Moltres attacks. Huge importance here. All these things I just named are high in usage. I mean, we're talking about Tornadus, Moltres, Regieleki, top of the tier right now in VGC, and this EV spread, this careful nature, this assault vest, and 196 SPDF EVs is letting us be okay with all of them. Where if we don't have it, they're all problems. Regieleki's a problem. Tornadus Heatwave is an OCO. Weakness policy Moltres all of a sudden beats us. So that's our SPDF layout here. I talked always about speed. So 188 speed EVs with our base 109 is going to let us outspeed the Rotom Heat. It's going to let us outspeed, modest Zapdos. It just gets us to a real nice number over 150 here with 188 speed EVs. Then I have 100 in HP. Between 100 and HP and the SPDF is what's letting us take all the special defense hits. And then I have 20 in defense and a grand total of 4 attack EVs on one of our most offensive Pokemon, one of our top Dynamaxers here. Again, we're punching holes. We're coming out with Nihelego and Grimmsnarl. We're hurting things. You get Kartana in, you Dynamax, you click Max Airstream, you get a Beast Boost. All of a sudden, you're at +1/+1 with the bulky spread behind screens. And I streamed today for about 4 hours playing this team. I think I went 9-2. I maxed Kartana a ton, and this set is absolutely great for a late game maxing.
Yeah, and like you see here, guys, this is behind some screens. Tornadus, you're living. It's a guaranteed 2-hit KO against that Tornadus there. And that's the whole point. If you can force something that should be a 1-hit KO by a lot to a 2, now you have the ability to revenge kill it, apply pressure, and that's the whole name of the game. If you're just going out there and getting mollywopped on turn 1 every game, it's going to get to you. So that's why you want to try and learn the defensive builds first. And I think this is the best way to do it. I learned defensively over offensively because when I first started playing VGC, it was like, oh, what's a popular team? Recreate it. And, you always see all these, max the best stat teams that go around from a lot of players because it's simple to post them and share them. But you find out real quick when you come up against something you can't do that it doesn't work as well as you think it should.
Yeah, for sure. And just there's so many variables. Like I know when DLC first dropped, like in literally just every team was like, hey, weakness policy Metagross, weakness policy Metagross. I did one calc, and that was with I made this Kanto Zapdos and a low and Ninetales team with the Ice Shard weakness policy, like solely on the speaking that a +2 max flare from Zapdos was on a roll to OCO max HP Dynamax Metagross. And I got destroyed because it was on a roll. It didn't happen. Boom, you're out turn 1. And I know to never calc offensively, but it's just funny that I was having so much problems when DLC dropped at Metagross that I went ahead and did it, and it still bit me in the ass. For sure. Speed, I'd say, is most important because it's easiest to predict. It's never bad because of all the things that can happen with speed, especially in the day and age of Electroweb, Regieleki. It's always okay to have more speed. It's never going to be a problem. But like when you're slower than something that you want to move first on, it's a total game changer. Like with this Kartana specifically, I mean, if Rotom Heat comes out late game and we have a couple boosts from our beast boost and stuff, and it's faster than us, we're just dead. Like overheat, dead. Simple as that. But we're faster, and it opens up the playbook a little bit. So moving on, those were definitely Kartana, Rotom, and Nihelego were definitely 3 I spent the most time on. Very important to kind of get that bulk going. The Urshifu is very easy. 252 attack and speed. One of the few Pokemon in rare cases where there's no point. Like we have a 4 times weakness to Fairy. There's just nothing we can. And we're not Dynamaxing, so you're never even having the double HP. He has a good base HP stat that you're never going to Dynamax. So it's just 252 jolly, always with your Shifu, unless you're doing some kind of Gmax build maybe. So that's what I have on your Shifu. Grimmsnarl, same thing. I didn't run any calcs here. Obviously, I want to be as bulky as possible to live as long as possible. The only thing I did right off the bat was put 12 EVs into speed because 60 is one of the most common speed tiers in VGC. There's an endless list of Pokemon between 59 and 61. So 12 speed EVs just kind of lets us get over that. And then the rest I just dumped into bulk. So I maxed our HP. I basically split up our defensives and SPDF. So I did 132 in defense and 108 in SPDF with a careful nature that boosts the SPDF. So that about puts defense and SPDF on the same amount of bulk. And I dropped the last 4 on attack for that Spirit Break. It's weird, like when you guys see the Kartana set and the Grimmsnarl set, you might be saying, like, what's the point? Like, what's the point of those 4 EVs that you're dumping into a stat? The reason is, guys, the first 4 EVs move you up a stat point. So if we're on Showdown right now and Chris moves down the 4 on Grimmsnarl, you'll see it goes at 140, and we add the 4 EVs, it goes to 141. However, if we take the 4 away and we go our defense 132 to 136 or something, there's a lot of instances where 4 EVs don't make a stat point. You need to go by 8. So that's why it's always nice to put that 4 into a stat. And then the Tapu Fini, and the Tapu Fini is just kind of a generic bulk set as well. I believe it's pretty widely used, the set. There's a ton of things it's calc for, but it's 244 in HP, 12 in defense. Again, it can't be 8 because after 4, it goes by 8 to change a stat point, so that's why it's 12. So 244 in HP, 12 in defense, 196 in special attack, 4 in SPDF, and 52 in speed. Now, the most common Tapu Fini is more bulky and less offensive than this. The reason we have a more SPDF, more special attack than most, is because of the screens and because of everything we've already talked about with the natural bulk of this team. Where you definitely want to be able to come out with this Fini and just like click on Muddy Water. With the full bulk Fini sets, you need that turn to kind of calm minds before you really provide any kind of offensive output. And even having the Spirit Break with Grimmsnarl here. And remember, Grimmsnarl has that base 120 attack, which is like really high. I mean, we're talking almost extra level of a base attack. So all 6 of these Pokemon can actually put damage in, and we want to be able to send them out and instantly provide a threat. If you just pretend you're my opponent and I send out Kartana Fini, or I send out your Shifu Rotom, or I send out my Lego Kartana, and you have fake out, and you want to fake out, who are you going to fake out? That's what offensive pressure does. All right. When I send out, forget Dusclops because you can't. When I send out Weavile, all right. When I send out, all these bulky mons that don't put pressure on. If I send out Incineroar, if I send out Cresselia, if I send out Tornadus that don't put pressure on, you always know who you're going to fake out. And you know where the damage is coming from. With this team, we want 6 Pokemon that pose a threat. and that's why we're EV. We have tons of bulk, we have screens to sit behind it, and we have offensive capabilities across the board. There is no playbook here where you need to max Nihelego, Kartana, Rotom Heat, Fini, or Shifu. You can max anybody. You kind of want to play it by ear. Turn 1 is the most important thing. I think in all my battles, I've probably led Nihelego Grimmsnarl 95% of the time. Like Chris talked about earlier, when in doubt, Nihelego, when there's some scary ground moves. I had a couple battles today against Heatran where I was scared of Earth Power. It didn't even exist, but it was safe for me to just go light screen and switch to Rotom. Right? And then they Dynamax, they did 15% to Rotom. Now I protect turn 2, I set Reflect. They do 20% to Grimmsnarl. Before you know it, they have no Dynamax. It's still 4-4. Still 4-4. We can get some damage in, and we have our Dynamax in the back. So when in doubt when playing this team, rely on your bulk. Set a screen, make the switch, and we'll find a way to get damage in at some point.
Very well said. And so we also have lost my train of thought. So we do have some videos here for y'all to watch. We have 6 of them. So I'm gonna play those now, and we are gonna play them on slow. I'm gonna have Peter kind of narrate for his. what he's thinking as he looks at the opponent's team, why he goes with the lead he does, explain the moveset and the ideals behind it. This way you guys can kind of understand the way you want to analyze, the way you got to, because to me, I'd say about 75% of your games are going to be won or lost in that pre-selection screen. Because if you can understand what your opponent's bringing, you can look at it and you can know what your win con is, what you need to beat, what you want to avoid, what you need to kill. You have a lot better of a momentum going in than just, oh, okay, yeah, it's whatever, because your understanding is not there. So that's kind of why I want this part here as well, just to showcase that understanding of the team, as well as understand how you need to play it and how you need to play in general when it comes to competitive VGC.
For sure.
So we are going to go. And nope. Perfect.
I just saw the crowd dilly dancing around. All right, so here, oh, this is yours. I'm sorry, take it.
Oh,
so, yeah, I don't remember battling this team.
That's definitely the wrong team too. So, yeah. You guys didn't see that. Here we go.
All right, so here again, this is going to be largely based on typing. Obviously, Showdown, you're always going to see stuff a little bit off meta, but Nihelego is really powerful. If it wasn't for Dynamax, so we're on Z-Moves or Mega, you would see a ton more of Nihelego. The reason you're not is because it doesn't get the Sheer Force boost. It means it basically automatic can't max. So here, what I'm looking at is a whole lot of weaknesses to Rock. I see Incineroar. I see the Thunderous. We see the not Moltres. What's his name? Articuno. So I know I want to lead Nihelego and Grimmsnarl here for sure. When it comes to looking at the back, we have a bunch of different options. I can't say I remember this exact game, so we'll watch as we go. So this is always good to know what version you're looking at. This is obviously the Defiant version of Thunderous here. Right here we have the ground fear, right? I was definitely worried about this Nidoking. So that's why we did not opt to go for the fake tears and stuff. We wanted to drop the screen. I set Trick Room because I was worried about speed control. I'm like, yeah, there's the thought process there. Like, if I lose Nihelego, he doubles into me with Earth Power, we're dead completely. But I already have my screen set up. And then I get to come in with Kartana and Rotom and hit these things for super effective. Or I get my Trick Room, and we let Nihelego start punching some holes through stuff. So we get the Trick Room, we Dynamax turn 2, we take out his biggest offensive threat, and we have total speed control. He obviously sends Urshifu in against Fini on terrain, which, is a huge issue for him. And this is what I was talking about with the special attack. So I'm able to come out here and just click Muddy Water. If we were on a fully bulk Fini, we're hoping to be in 2-hit KO range there. But you see the damage output. And this Nidoking did work against me. So it's really important to identify this team. Like, if you just want to go ahead and say you're leading Grimmsnarl every game, you're just choosing who to go with it in the front. And it's the most important thing with this team, I think, is who comes in the back, because more often than not, we're going to Dynamax it last. So we need that Pokemon. We can't send in a Kartana late game who is hitting for not very effective against 2 Pokemon. We can't do it. So it's really important to identify typing wise who can come in late here and get pressure and get damage in. Here, the Sludge Bomb, the old Sludge Bomb miss on Fini makes this game go on a little longer, but you see the threat. You see the pressure we put on with Nihelego. And this is also one of those games where turn 1, you can 100% drop your light screen here, go to Rotom. If he Earth Powers into the slot, you have your screen up, and you kind of take it from there. I went ahead and just clicked Trick Room to get some speed control, and it worked out.
And also, that was a good example too on why we do not try and make a bulky Urshifu, because even behind to protect, it still was basically a one-shot KO all the way down the sash. So that's why you don't build him bulky.
It's true. I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it's Yoshifu is a great niche, but you know, you gotta maybe if you're gonna Dynamax changes everything because it doubles that HP. That's where like some weird spreads, like our Kartana spread. I said I used Kartana a ton last gens in Sun and Moon, and I did. However, it was not Assault Vest with 4 attack EVs. I promise you that. This is something we get to do with Dynamax and doubling our HP here. So this game, uh, this is a scary looking game here. Porygon is a freaking nuisance to me always. I feel like whenever I go against Porygon, no matter what, the battle is so freaking hard. However, I see his most likely mods. If I would say, hey, what is he leading here? The Tornadus is really likely. Primarina is likely to come. Rillaboom's likely to come. Who hits that all for super effective? Nihelego. So we're going to send out our usual lead here and see how we do. So he does come out with the Tornadus and the Rillaboom. 2 things I'm hitting for super effective. It's really important to analyze when you're playing this team is their ground move potential. Because you have to remember, this isn't a 2 times, this is a 4 times weakness. So even the littlest of ground move you're not thinking about can completely wipe our board here. I was worried about the ground move. He comes out and Oko's me with Tornadus and Steel Spike, which totally shocked me. At this point, I was completely convinced I was going to lose this game. I really thought he was going to fake out and max airstream. So here's just something to know, guys. When you see a low-end Marowak on a team, it is just about never because of Boomerang. It's because of Lightning Rod. You get to run things like Gyarados and Tornadus, Landorus here, Primarina here, and cover your electric weakness. Personally, when I'm in a VGC battle or even an OU battle, if I feel the battle's even or I'm ahead, I'm not going to make any big time reads or hard reads. Like, it's up to you to make the read to come back on me. If I'm winning or we're even, I'm just going to go ahead and coast. So I felt extremely threatened this game. I mean, we can't really go back to turn 2 here, but I had a big feeling he was coming in with that Marowak. I made the Rotom play. I got my nasty plot up, and I was able to swing this game back in my favor. This also shows the great utility that having bulk and maxing last can do. As you see us completely destroy a fire type Pokemon with max flare because of our nasty plot setup. And here you see Rotom's hitting everything from here. We have light screen up, so the one thing that could hit us for like super effective there, like a hyper voice, isn't going to hurt us. We're in the sun plus our light screen. And of course, Kartana just destroys Prim with Leaf Blade, and we destroy Rillaboom with Fire. This is a bad turn 1 for me. I was actually really thinking about switching to Rotom because of high horsepower Rillaboom. But I was fully expecting a max airstream from Tornadus, and then I decided that he was going to fake out with Rillaboom. He kind of comes out and Oko's Nihelego. This has only happened to me a few times. It was too risky to stay in on my part. If I did go to Rotom worrying about the ground move, and then the Steel Spike comes into Rotom, it still doesn't hurt. And this goes back to that first part of team building, of having the right typing and having your 6 Pokemon that complement each other. I'm worried about a ground move here. Rotom covers it. He comes in with the Steel move I didn't even think about. Guess who's not weak to Steel? Rotom. That's where typing really comes into play nice here, for sure. Like I said, we had to make a read this game. It was a clear Thunderbolt play or Max Lightning play from Rotom, and we read the Marowak coming in, and we kind of reversed this game.
Yeah. And shout out to Bring Back Crow for saying have fun and good luck.
Yes, good man, good man. Lost etiquette, really.
I mean, I hate when you're like, good luck, have fun. They're like, you too, or have fun. I'm like, first of all, you wishing me luck isn't going to help anything at the end of the day. You know, like, that's just my pet peeve.
Yeah, it's a lost etiquette. I grew up on the GL HF era. We're in that age group. It's what you do. These kids nowadays forget about it.
It's like the handshake before the game, you know, like,
Yep.
I don't know. I don't get people who don't say it. So,
Yeah. So
If I
I was
ever
really
see someone say you two on a video, we're gonna make
no,
sure to point it out.
no. I was really happy to get this game because this is a real meta team. Lando, Rotom, Cortana, Fini, Titar. This is like a super meta game. You might run into the same team several times playing it. So this is a really good bring. Now, Lando's really high up in usage. You see it led all the time. And it's always something to think about. And it kind of makes me automatically think Grimsaw, Nihelego, Rotom in the back. That's automatic. And then, I mean, we see the Cartana, the Fini, like Crobat. Rotom's good for more reasons than defense in this game. He has great offensive potential. But those three kind of come automatic based on defense here. And that fourth one is really like who can do the most damage here. We see who Cartana can hit Titar, can hit Fini, can hit Lando, but we also see Fini can do really well here. So let's go ahead and watch this. But this is definitely a meta team that you can see a lot. I like Crobat a lot. I think it's really underused, super fast, tailwind taunt. That's all you need to know.
Oh yeah, I did forget he had taunt. That's what I was trying to figure out.
Crobat is one of the first teams I made before DLC came. I made a few teams and I had Crobat on two of them. I love it. I think it's a great mon. So he comes out here with Lando. So let me explain something in 1 second here. So when this first happened, if you can just pause it real quick, Chris. So I didn't know the calc exactly, but I'll tell you why I was confident that this Lando wasn't scarfed. And there's a few reasons. The main reason, like I was saying before, is you look at the offensive capabilities of the team. I'm seeing Rotom, Fini, Titar, Crobat, Cartana paired with this Lando. Right? That usually is going to breed a assault vest, intimidate, U-turn kind of stuff. When you see Lando on a team with Grimmsnarl, Cresselia, et cetera, that's when you fear that Dynamax or that Scarf set. So I was really confident here. It was a gamble still. Again, the safe play there is to go to Rotom. But I was confident it wasn't scarfed. So I went ahead and dropped the fake tears and we nuked it. And away we go in this battle. I would say this is by far the riskier way to play this team. I think you're always safe setting screens, playing defensively. That's what we built this team for. However, every once in a while here, you can come out turn one and just drop a freaking bomb. Muddy Water is super effective. I don't have light screen up. It just did how much damage to me? Like
18 to
15%?
22.
Okay, that's the bulk. Right, that's the EVs we're investing. That's a natural bulk we have on this team. So Titar comes out, I set Reflect. Right now, we just max lose, take out the Fini. We're at +2. I set my Reflect. And now we're in that full double HP, full bulk mode with that offense we talked about. Now, if we had 252 special attack EVs, this battle will not be any different except that Muddy Water damage, we'd be dead right now. So that's the difference. We still kill Fini. We still kill Lando. They both died, so obviously more attack isn't going to make it not die. So we still killed who we had to, and we showed what the bulk can do here behind the screens. This battle is a really good example of why Ultra Beasts are very dangerous with Beast Boost, and why running bulk and screens is really good, because on a normal Power Herb, Meteor Beam, 252 kind of set, we're dead right now. Yep. God, Nelly. I love this guy's team, man. Love it. Oh, this is still the other team, Chris.
Oh gosh, hold on. All right, I'm gonna pause my screen share just so I can pull something up real quick for you guys.
See, I might have it too. Oh no, I don't. But yeah, this team, guys. You can make the reads, but you really don't. Really don't need to. You can really play this team safe. This is a great team to learn the meta in when you're like not sure. Like you see, you don't even know if you have which version of like Landorus are being thrown out at you, and you're really trying to learn the meta. Like this is a great team for it. Just you drop some screens, you make some switches, you quick protect, you get a lot of scouting done, you get your bulk up, and you try and reverse the game late. On my stream today, in the 4 hours I was using this team, I was probably down in Pokemon uh, 80% of the battles, but I always still had my Dynamax and I was still sitting behind screens. We have Beast Boost, so we have a potential basically with 4 Pokemon to boost our attack, right? So we have Beast Boost and our 2 Ultra Beasts. We have Nasty Plot and Calm Mind on Rotom and Fini. These are the things that really lets us get in with the bulk and the screens, boost our attack, and still put on huge offensive pressure. It's a really safe, sound team. The couple games I lost today, the one was just I totally blanked out. Like somebody led Salamence, and I was like, oh yeah, Max Airstream, and he just clicked Earthquake. I literally, yeah, I don't see Salamence too often. Like I even if you were to go back and watch the stream, Bob, like as soon as I just locked in my moves turn one, I was like, oh shit, that thing has Earthquake, and he clicked it, it killed me. It happens. I'll tell you, that's about winning the meta. And the other game, I lost a really close game against an opposing Kartana late game. But I was in it. I didn't get blown out by anything. This is the kind of game team where if you lose, like you're losing like 0-1, like turn 12, 15, 20. It's just really competitive, really sound against the whole meta. We talked about Picolytics and usage. If I run down, I'm going to pull up Picolytics real quick. So top use Mon, Fini. We have Rotom, we have Kartana, we have Nihelego. We hit this thing all over the place. Regilucky. We EV'd to take hits with our Nihelego and with our Kartana for this. We're okay with it. There's nothing that Regilucky's going to just blow away against us. Lando, we've talked about repeatedly, is number 4. Incineroar, we didn't talk about too much. That is because we have Nihelego. So we have a Pokemon that doesn't care about Intimidate, and it destroys Incineroar. So it's just not really a threat at all. Your Shifu, I mean, we saw what happened when your Shifu protected against a Dynamax Nihelego. Glacier, we have Rotom, we have your Shifu. We have our own Trick Room to get speed control. We have lots of ways of dealing with it. Metagross I've talked about a lot. We have our Max Flare. We have our Switch in. Metagross also can't hurt. Just can't hurt Rotom once we set up screens. Kartana comes in at number 10 here. 4 times a week fire. We have our Rotom Heat. We have screens to slow it down. Galar Moltres we talked about already. Dusclops, usual shit. Rillaboom, you saw in that battle already how we did against Rillaboom, which just wasn't a threat. Rotom Heat. So I mean, I'm on like Pokemon number 15 right now in usage, and we just have answers. There's nothing that just downright gives us a ton of problems here because of our well-balanced typing.
All right, and so this will be the last battle for Showdown that we showcase the team on. This is one I did with it. So right here, as you see, the Metagross is here, the Incineroar, the Whimsicott. Then you have the dual Reggie combo up front. So I was kind of expecting going into it, Regieleki and Regidrago, speed control and just Dragon Energy spam, or the Whimsicott. I mean, you got the 3 ways to control your speed here early game, and that's just a nice click. So I went with Nihelego and Grimmsnarl as a lead here. They hit their music. So we see the Thundurus, we see the Drago. So I know Dragon Energy spams are coming. So I'm just going to set screens and I'm going to go ahead and Rockfall. Get the stand up, get me a little bit more bolt going into it. And it worked out really well because he actually protects. So we get a free turn to set screens. And he knuckled, which Knuckle does almost no damage compared to the rest of your max moves. So we get Rockfall, takes it right down. So on turn 2, I knew roughly he was in the range of the Grimmsnarl being able to knock him out. So I just went ahead and used that Dazzling Gleam max into the Regidrago, guarantee the kill on it. And then I turned around and just had the Goblin grab the quick knockout on the Thundurus. Didn't work out, but Sand finishes the job for me.
Nice.
I know. I love when that happens.
Yeah, for sure.
So now, we're still on our leads. The opponent comes in. It's Incineroar and Regieleki in the back. Uh, Now, I was more scared of Incineroar just because of the annoyance it possesses. Even though I had Feeny in the back,
Ooh, that bolt.
and that's why the bulk's so important. Because now, look, now we're gonna die from the recoil, but we are now at a 3-1 advantage. Uh, Grim is at about 70% here. We bring in Finny, and that bulk right there
Yeah,
takes Reggie Lucky. Barry heals it back up. Now you get a Moon Blast, and now it's just an easy Spirit Break and a kill.
yeah. This I feel like this game really shows off the screens. May just be dead turn one without light screen. Definitely dead to the dragon energy. Definitely dead to third turn. Feeny definitely gets OPO'd by the bolt switch. I mean, we see the screen really come to light here. And plus the sand. I had mentioned the sand once throughout this whole video. That's because I'm Nihelego. We don't have the assault vest, and I have like 4 Spadef EVs because it's so bulky with Spadef naturally. The biggest weakness is ground. Very rarely do you see special attacks at the ground. A and B, it's literally like I don't even know the number. It's like 120-ish or something. So I didn't really get into the Spadef side of it, but the sand just takes that up a stage. Like we have a natural assault vest on, and it's so bulky against special attacks.
Yeah, it was. I like that game just like you said for the showcase of the screens and the bulk, and I mean a lot of clutch survivals. You're looking at Finny lives with just enough to activate the berry, which everyone hates, and that gives and then at that point you're at a 3v1 situation. The opponent can only kill one Pokemon per turn, so now you can just play it safe and click and attack each turn and kind of go for it. And so that wraps up the Nihelego team first, guys. Got a couple of videos there. We'll have the rental code here in the back, as well as all the breakdown. And all the links will be in the description. Peter, just go ahead and give a shout out real quick. Remind everyone where they can find more of your content at.
Yeah, guys, it's at Peter underscore VGC on Twitch, Pokemon Battle Kingdom on Facebook. Working on getting the Twitter up. We have some YouTube content. And I'm in Chris's group as well. So if you see me around in the gauntlet, feel free to say hi or drop your question.
Yeah, speaking of which, we have a Gen Lock tournament. I just dropped signups for. You should check it out, man. It'll be interesting. Everyone gets a random generation assigned.
Will do, man. I'll definitely check it out.
All right, y'all have a good one, and thank you, Peter, for coming on and hanging out with us.
My pleasure, Chris. Take care, guys.
Alrighty, guys, and as I said, here is the rental code for the game on Sword and Shield, or for the team on Sword and Shield. Um, I hope you guys did enjoy this, and I will also have a link in the description for Peter, his Facebook group, as well as his Twitch channel. So please be sure to go give him some love, check it out. As we all can see, longtime VGC player and understands team building to the best, to the way you need to, which is you have to know your type coverages. What are you weak to? What do you want to counter? You have to understand the current meta, understand what's rising in usage, and how to counter those things, as well as understand how to do EV spreads. So this was a great time for me as well. I consider myself fairly good at VGC. Uh, Still learning a lot though. I played VGC a little bit in Ultra Moon series, didn't take it too serious. Played a little bit in Gen 6 and Gen 5, but once again, never too serious. And then here in Gen 8, I started to really kind of roll off of the Ultra Moon series as far as seriousness and competitive play, and really working towards being more serious of a battler. So it's definitely always fun for me to kind of work with other people who because everyone has a different mindset, everyone thinks differently. So that's the fun thing with these videos, and that's why I enjoy doing these types of videos, is the blend of my mindset and your mindset, and kind of working to create and build something really fun. Sorry, very late night tonight, but yeah, guys. So give the video a like, share it with a friend, and check out all the Peter stuff, all the Wandering Legend stuff below, and leave a comment. Let us know if you want to see us do another one. I mentioned a Pokemon you want to see us build around. Uh, because that's how these all started, right? I literally gave Peter two Pokemon, said, "Hey man, build something, let's go." Same thing I did with Steven for the OU team. Hey, here's two Pokemon, build something, let's do it. So leave two Pokemon below, and I'll use it for another team building video as well, and we'll throw you a team and hope you guys have something to use as well. And yeah, so thank you for watching. I really do greatly appreciate all the love and support that I get, and it's been a blast learning and growing in the community as playing around and taking videos and learning the streaming stuff. So there is that, and the Pokey Paste will be down below as well.